Okay, so we are going to go back into positive and negative reinforcement. So again, remember reinforcement is the process or procedure, whereas reinforcers are the actual items. So we'll talk about the process or procedure again, actual reinforcement. So here you'll see our table that describes positive and negative reinforcement and positive and negative punishment. Again, the thing to remember is that reinforcement always focuses on increasing the future frequency of behavior, whereas punishment focuses on decreasing the future frequency of behavior. The positive refers to either adding a stimulus or negative referring to taking away a stimulus. So, positive reinforcement, we add something in order to increase the future frequency of the behavior, whereas with negative reinforcement, we take something away to increase the future frequency of behavior. With punishment, it's the same thing, however, decreasing the future frequency of behavior. So, we add something to decrease the future frequency of behavior with positive punishment, or we take something away to decrease the future frequency of a behavior with with negative punishment. So again, we'll focus here mostly on negative reinforcement and we'll define it. So negative reinforcement, or SR minus, occurs when there's a removal of a stimulus immediately after the response, and a similar response occurs more in the future. So some examples here. You have a headache, so you take aspirin, the headache goes away, so the future frequency of you taking aspirin increases in the future. You have sun in your eyes, you put on sunglasses, the brightness decreases, so the future frequency of you putting on sunglasses in the future increases. Mom is nagging about cleaning your room, child cleans room, nagging goes away, future frequency of child cleaning room increases in the future. So those are some examples. In your discussion, you will add some original examples this week as well. With negative reinforcement, it can often be confused with punishment for people that don't have the background in ABA. When we hear the word negative, we often think of it as bad. So a lot of times people confuse negative reinforcement with punishment. For us, we know that reinforcement focuses on increasing behavior and punishment focuses on decreasing behavior. So they're two very different systems. However, people without that background knowledge don't always understand that. With negative reinforcement, we have a couple different contingencies that go along with it, escape contingencies and avoidance contingencies. With escape contingency, we are terminating a ongoing stimulus, typically an aversive stimulus. So something is already occurring and we provide a response in order to stop that aversive stimulus. With avoidance contingencies, it's a response that prevents or postpones the presentation of that aversive stimulus. So if we look at our examples here, we have an EO, rain drenching you as you walk outside, so that aversive stimuli is already occurring. A friend asks, do you have an umbrella? You take out and open your umbrella and you escape the rain from drenching you. So here that is an escape contingency. That aversive stimuli is already happening. You're being drenched in the rain and you engage in a behavior in order to stop that aversive stimuli. With avoidance contingencies, we can use a similar example. So the EO here is slightly different. When you're in class, you notice that it's raining outside. So the aversive stimuli is not already happening. You're not already wet. A friend asks if you have an umbrella. You take out the umbrella before leaving the building and you avoid getting drenched in the rain. So here that's an avoidance contingency because that aversive stimuli is not already happening. We also have two types of negative reinforcement, just like positive reinforcement, with our unconditioned reinforcers and conditioned reinforcers. With unconditioned negative reinforcers, that would be any source of pain. So loud noise, bright lights, strong pressure against the body, extreme low or high temperatures, odd smells, etc. We can also have conditioned reinforcers, and that is the exact same thing as with positive conditioned reinforcers. So it's just pairing a previously neutral reinforcer with something that's already negatively reinforced.